Michel Emer, l'accordéoniste. La fille de joie est belle, au coin de la rue là-bas. Elle a une clientèle qui lui remplit son bar.
Are we good? Let's see. Yes, we'll go for that. Last night, I listened to the album that would break me. Yeah, it was an interesting experience. Whew. I almost don't know what to say. I listened to Anywhere But the End of Time. Is that what it's called? The Caretaker album, the 6.5 hour epic. I think Anywhere at the End of Time is best described as a art experience. It's hard to describe because I can't call it 6 albums. It essentially is a collection of music which describes the experience of going through dementia or going through Alzheimer's, these mind-numbing illnesses, these horrible experiences, and it takes you through that. It puts you in the position of somebody who has experienced that, and I have to say it does do that pretty well. With the 6.5 hour runtime, you find yourself kind of sucked in and you become this character which just, starts breaking down. And yeah, the runtime feels long. Yeah, of course it does. It's 6.5 hours long, but it also feels necessary. You get invested in the character, you lose yourself, with these albums that are 45 minutes long, section 1 45 minutes, section 2 45 minutes. You become the character, you become this person who was born in the 1930s whose life kind of starts fading away. The world that we see is kind of presented to us by the art that's created. I think the one thing this album showed me is how much it holds this strong bond over what we do and how we feel. The world we live in is kind of dictated by it. And that's a great thing. Because honestly, music is amazing. It brings people together. It creates these visceral experiences which are amazing. It's, it's something. It's definitely something. That's all I can say. You're placed in this body of somebody who was born in the 1930s, who's experienced all of these great things, and them having that taken away from them. It's hard to listen to. It really is. There's an artist called Mount Eerie who wrote an album called A Crow Looked at Me, and it's one of my favourite albums. It's brilliant. If you haven't heard it, listen to it, please, because it's fascinating. But in the first song, he talks about whether we should write music, art, and create things around certain subjects. Death is Real is the title of the song if you want to go listen to it. And he has a point. Death is real, and all of this is real. He says in the song, when real death enters the household, poetry is dumb. It is, to a degree. When you're in that experience, maybe this isn't what you need. So then what purpose does it serve? What does it do? It's a good point. What does it do? What's the purpose of this album? Who is it for? Honestly, I couldn't tell you. What I would say is just experience it. Just see it. Just live in it for a second, and it might change you. It might make you look at things in a different way. It might make you value things more. I think the one thing that jumps out at you straight away when you watch the video is the artwork. Now, perfect example of something that works so well, where another medium just joins in and helps elevate the music. It really does elevate the music. You see these images, look, I'll put them up around me here, but they go from Act 1, which places you in this kind of almost real but surreal reality. Very real, surreal situation, but you find yourself in this world where you can't quite tell what anything is. You can't quite understand what anything is, but it still feels natural. It still feels human. It's not enough to warrant you being worried. And I think that's the scary thing, is the fact that it it's not scary at that stage. It's undetectable almost, and you wouldn't worry. Now you get over to Act 2, the second installment, you know, things start to get a little more abstract. You can still tell it's a vase, obviously. You can tell it's, you know, something that's holding these flowers, but you can't tell any of the materials, you can't tell any of the kind of, it's abstract, it's an artwork. It's not quite right, I think is the best way to describe it. Then you move in for the third installment, and the third installment really hones in on the abstract side of things. You know, you can't quite tell it, is it? Yeah, you can't quite tell what it is. It's natural. You can tell it's natural. You can tell it's seaweed or grass or something along those lines, but it's nothing distinguishable. It's nothing you can just say, right, yeah, that's exactly what this is. Let me zoom out. Then you move on to 4, again becoming more and more abstract as time moves on. This is probably my favourite of all the album covers, is the self-portrait, or the portrait, moreover, of somebody, and the flowing lines, but the colours are so off. It's so abstract, yet, you know, almost human. And that's how you feel while listening to the album, is almost human. Moving in for number 5, are we at? We'll go for 5. 5, again, can't quite tell what it is. In all honesty, I couldn't tell you what it is. But there are elements of things that we understand, elements of things that we appreciate exist. And it almost, it's a dreamlike state, I would say. It's hard to describe because the deterioration is so honest and genuine when you're in the position of listening to the album. The artwork really helps alleviate the pain and the anguish that you feel in those positions. Moving forward into 6, the final installment, one of the most beautiful pieces of art, honestly. You see the cover holds the framework of a piece of art on this wood, on this plank, and what is meant to be, what's meant to exist. And it doesn't, it's not there yet, there's nothing there. It's a blank canvas on this sheet of wood. It's hollow, it really is. And it's terrifying. It's genuinely terrifying. I think experiencing the album helped with a lot of things. I think it helped me think about things, it helped me see the world in a different way. Now, would I recommend anybody to listen to the album? I can't say I would. It cost a lot as well. It takes a lot out of you. It's mentally draining. It's 6.5 hours for a start, but not only that, you know, it's not just the fact that it's time consuming, it's the fact that it's, you know, you invest yourself in this character and the world surrounding it, that you almost lose touch with yourself just for a period of time. And I don't know whether that was just the period of time that I listened to it over a night, but it's inspired me enough to come make this video, I suppose. I don't know. Let me know what you think. If you watch the video, please tell me your experience, because I want to know. I want to appreciate and understand, and if you can articulate that down in the comments or wherever, then I'd be interested to see what you think.